We all know what a sentence is. When we write or we talk, we string together words in a specific fashion to form sentences that communicate ideas. The way that we construct our sentences, or our syntax, is important, and knowing how the author uses syntax to create arguments is essential to doing well on your AP exam. Let's look at the syntax of this text pulled from an article. Pause this video and read the text below. This passage discusses the 1990 trials of the Exonerated Five, a case that was widely followed by the media in 1989, 1990, 2014, and now 2019. Interestingly, the opinions and tones of the articles will be completely different depending on what year they were written. The AP test requires us to realize that the author designed his or her syntax to paint doubt all over the case and the prosecutor. The author asks a rhetorical question in the beginning to purposely cause the audience to doubt the judgment of the detectives and the prosecutor. This specific syntax is designed to effectively persuade the audience. Then the author uses juxtaposition, or placing two things close together to create an essential contrast, complete strangers as co-conspirators. It seems unlikely and even ridiculous as presented by the author. Finally, we get to the lengthiest part of the text, the list. It stands out because it is so long compared to the other sentences. But the length alone isn't that important. The author lists 7 different flaws with the prosecutor's case, each adding weight to the gravity of the mistake that is being made. A subtle parallel structure is created as the author presents all 7 transgressions in a way that makes them all seem equally valid and convincing. It's your job to see that the length of the sentence serves a specific purpose. The author is building a powerful argument against the prosecutor. The very next sentence is sharp and abrupt. None of this mattered to the district attorney. It's a jarring shift following such a long sentence. But like before, it isn't just about the length of the sentence or even how the lengths of the 2 sentences compare to one another. We want to focus on the effect created by the contrast between these 2 sentences. It's like a nail in the figurative coffin for the prosecutor and district attorney. And yes, they are the same person. Despite all of the obvious problems with this trivial case, the cold prosecutor could not care less. Then we find a quick sentence that almost makes you feel bad for the prosecutor. She's under pressure. Now this feels political. You can only get a moment's break before the author shifts your attention again to the ruthlessness of this prosecutor. Understand that everything here is well planned, even the quotation marks around the word facts. Finally, we close with the prosecutor's motivation, to get 5 guilty verdicts for the public. By this point, the author has us convinced that the prosecutor is wrong. Even with no conclusion, we know that the prosecutor and the jurors are going to convict 5 innocent boys. There is a whole list of reasons why we should believe that this is wrong, and it's presented in a way that just makes sense. Otherwise, we could take the final sentence and put it at the beginning, and nothing would change. Now, we all know that that would not be very convincing. The author would be jumping to conclusions, and this would weaken the argument because we weren't seasoned to agree with the author's persuasive point of view all along. In other words, the author's line of reasoning would be questionable. This is what syntax is all about. It's about how the sentence design is used to achieve an author's unique purpose. In this case, it means listing out the problems with the prosecutor's case, and then turning to the real source of the problem, the public pushing to get convictions, and the prosecutor doing whatever it takes to satisfy the public, despite what the evidence says.